Most people think you need expensive software and a powerful computer to make a virtual tour. You don't. In 2026, you can build the whole thing right from your iPhone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything, step by step. First, I'll show you the best camera gear and the exact settings I use to get sharp and clean 360 photos. Then I'll share some simple tips that make your virtual tour worth charging hundreds of dollars for. And here's the part that might surprise you. I'll show you how to edit everything right on your iPhone. We're talking hotspots, color correction, removing the tripod from the floor, all of it. No computer needed. Let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need is a 360 camera, and the one I recommend right now is the Insta360 X5. It takes high quality 360 photos right out of the camera, no editing needed. But here's what makes it really stand out. It's not just a virtual tour camera. You can use it as your vacation camera or vlogging camera. It does it all. Most 360 cameras can't do that, so you're not just buying a work tool, you're getting a camera you'll actually use every day. I do have a special deal on the X5. I'll put the link down in the description, but grab it soon because I don't know how long it's going to last. The second thing you need is a camera stand. The one I recommend is the Best 360 Monopod Pro. It holds your camera up at eye level. That way, when someone looks at your virtual tour, it feels like they're actually standing in the room. It just looks natural. This camera stand is specially designed for 360 cameras. It's built so that the selfie stick is automatically invisible in the final 360 photo. That's one less thing you have to edit out. This stand has tripod legs at the bottom, and you can set them up in two ways, wide or narrow. If you're shooting outside, go wide. This keeps the stand nice and steady, even if it's windy. It also comes with a counterweight to stop the whole thing from tipping over. So even on a breezy day, your camera isn't going anywhere. If you're shooting inside, go narrow, because those tripod legs are going to show up in your 360 photo, and you'll need to edit them out. When the legs are closer together, there's less to edit. And if you're indoors but the floor is a little uneven, or you just want extra stability, you can always extend the legs out a bit longer to give yourself a wider base. The Best 360 Monopod Pro fits right in your backpack, comes with its own storage bag, breaks down into smaller pieces, and it takes seconds to put together. I'll leave a link to the Best 360 Monopod Pro in the description below, so go check it out. Before you start shooting, you need to get the location ready. Do a quick walkthrough of every room. Fluff up the pillows, straighten things up, and make sure everything looks clean and tidy. If there's any clutter sitting around, get rid of it. You want each room to look its best. Open all the doors you can. You want a clear line of sight from one room to the next. This is going to help a lot later when you're connecting your photos together for navigation. Open up all your curtains and blinds. You want as much natural light coming in as possible. The more light you have, the better your photos are going to look. And here's a tip a lot of people don't think about. Turn on all the interior lights too, even if it's the middle of the day. This helps the camera expose the room more evenly so you don't end up with dark corners or weird shadows. Before you start snapping photos, you want to have a plan. Take a quick walk around the space and think about where you're going to take each photo. The big rule here is to always make sure there's a clear line of sight between each photo position. That way, when you connect everything together later, the navigation makes sense and people can easily move from one spot to the next. Now, a really common question is, how many photos do I need to take? And the simple answer is one photo per area. But sometimes an area is really big, like this space right here. It's a kitchen and living room combo, so one photo isn't going to cover it all. In a space like this, I'm going to break it up. I'll take one photo here in the kitchen area. Now I could jump straight to the living room for the next one, but I feel like this middle area is important. You've got the dining table here and the stairs, and I want people to be able to see that, so I'll take my next photo right here. And then I'll move over and take the next one in the living room. Now over here, there's a door going to the toilet. It's a really small room. So I've got two options. I can either go inside and take a photo in there, or I can take a photo from out here and just let people look inside from a distance to get their general idea of the space. Both options work. And here's my advice. If you're not sure what's going to look best, just take all the photos. You can always decide later in editing which ones to keep and which ones to leave out. It's way easier to delete a photo you don't need than to go back and reshoot one you missed. Now let's talk about camera settings. First, go into photo mode. Tap the HDR setting and turn it on. What HDR does is it takes multiple photos at the same time, each one at a different brightness level, and then blends them all together into one image. This gives you way more detail in the dark areas and the bright areas of your photo. It just looks so much better. Next, change the format setting to PureShot plus RAW. PureShot is going to save your photo as a JPEG file with a nice color grade already applied. It's ready to go. RAW is going to save a second copy as a DNG file without any color grade on it. Think of the RAW file as your backup. If anything goes wrong with the JPEG, you've still got the RAW file to work with. Then set the resolution to 72 megapixels. This gives you the maximum amount of detail in your photo. That way, when someone zooms into your virtual tour, everything stays sharp and clear. Okay, so now you need to actually take the photo. And the important thing to remember is you don't want to be in it. So there are a few different ways to trigger the camera. The first way is to use the countdown timer. Set your timer, press the shutter button, and then move out of view before the countdown finishes. Once the photo is taken, you can go ahead and move the camera stand to the next spot while the camera saves the file. The second way is to connect the X5 to the Insta360 app on your phone. Just make sure you set the same settings in the app. Then find a spot to hide and tap the shutter button on your phone to take the photo. Sometimes the app can disconnect when it's far away, so it's less reliable. And the third way is to use the Insta360 ring remote. This is a little remote that connects to your camera. You just hide from the view, tap the button on the ring, and the photo is taken. If you're on a tiled or patterned floor, try to position the camera stand on a part of the floor where the pattern is simple and consistent. The simpler the floor looks around the tripod legs, the easier it's going to be to edit them out later. Another question I get all the time is, which way do I point the camera? So a 360 camera has two lenses, one on each side. The image is sharpest right in the center of each lens and a little less sharp where the two images stitch together on the sides. So ideally, you want to point those sides, the less sharp areas, towards the least important parts of the scene, like a plain empty wall. Point the front and back lenses towards the parts of the room you really want to show off. Now here's something a lot of people forget about. Reflections. Keep an eye on TVs, windows, and mirrors. If you can see the camera or the camera stand in a reflection, try moving it to a slightly different spot so it doesn't show up. Sometimes you just can't avoid it, and that's okay. In that case, just try to position things in a way that makes the reflection as easy to edit out as possible. And don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that later in this video. Once you've taken all your photos, don't just pack up and leave. Take 5 minutes to review them right there on location. You can check them on the camera screen or on your phone. Keep an eye out for anything you didn't mean to capture, like a bag you left on the floor or a curtain blind that's still closed. It's much better to catch these things now and reshoot while you're still there, because you might not get a second chance to come back. And to make all of this even easier, I've put together a free virtual tour checklist that you can download. It covers everything, all the steps to get the location ready before you shoot, camera settings, shooting tips, all the stuff we've talked about in this video. That way, when you're on location, you can just pull it up on your phone, go through it step by step, and make sure you haven't missed anything. I'll leave the download link in the description below. Now it's time to get those photos off the camera and onto your phone so you can start building your virtual tour. To do this, open up the Insta360 app and connect it to your X5. Tap join and wait for it to connect. Then go into your photos, select all the ones from your virtual tour shoot, and tap Export to Phone. Tap Save to Album. Your photos will begin saving to your phone album. This may take a couple of minutes, depending on how many photos you have taken and how powerful your phone is. Once it's finished, Go to your phone album to see the photos. Here you can see the app save the photos at full resolution. And just like that, your photos are ready to upload into the Virtual Tour Builder app. Now you can turn off the X5. All you need is your phone. So now it's time to build your virtual tour, and for this, you're going to use an app called Pano. This is by far the best virtual tour builder out there. Your first virtual tour is completely free. No credit card, no trial that runs out. Just download it and start building. So head over to the App Store, search for Pano, this is Pano, download and install it, and then open the app. First, you need to create an account. So tap Create Account, enter your first name. I am making a test account, so I will put the name TestUser2. Enter your email address. This will be your username to sign in. Enter a password to secure your account. Re-enter the password to make sure you entered the correct password. And tap Create Account. Check your email in the inbox or spam folder for a verification code and type the code here. This will authenticate you are the owner of your email address. And then tap Verify. Now you are signed up to Pano in the free tier, and the free tier will let you publish one virtual tour for free. To make a new virtual tour, tap New Tour. Name the tour. In this case, I will call it a demo tour. Write a tour description. In this case, I will write small cottage in Surrey. Because this cottage has 2 floors, a ground floor and an upstairs, enable Add Floors. This will let you add photos on multiple floors. Then tap Create. To add floors, tap Add Floor. In this example, I will add a ground floor and a first floor for upstairs, and tap Save. Then tap Import to choose photos on the ground floor, tap Browse Photos, pick the ground floor photos, and tap Add. Then tap Import to choose photos on the first floor, tap Browse Photos, pick the first floor photos, and tap Add. Now that all the photos are imported, tap Done. And now the virtual tour has been created. Here you can view all the photos at once. Tap First Floor to see photos on the first floor only, and tap Ground Floor to see photos on the ground floor only. Now I want to reorder the scenes. Scene 2 is the front of the cottage, so I want to put this scene at the beginning. To do this, hold down on the scene you want to move and hover over the scene you want to put the scene behind of. And now the scene is in the correct position. Scene 6 is the next photo inside the entrance, so I will hover scene 6 over scene 1 so it's behind it. Reorder all the scenes until you are happy with the order. Now let's rename the scenes. To do this, tap Rename, and I will call this Entrance, and tap Rename. Now go through all the photos and rename them. Now let's connect the photos together. To do this, point the crosshair where you want to show a tappable spot. Hold down your finger on the screen. And because this is a transition into another area, choose Area Hotspot and select the photo to connect to. In this case, it's the lounge entrance. Now I will move on to the next photo and add the return hotspot to the front entrance. So I will put the crosshair on the front door, hold down my finger on the screen, tap Area Hotspot, and tap the front entrance photo. There is another area here going to the toilet, so I will put the crosshair on the door, hold down my finger on the screen, tap Area Hotspot, and tap the toilet photo. Now I will put the crosshair on the floor pointing to where the lounge photo was taken. Hold down my finger on the screen, tap floor hotspot, and tap the lounge photo. Then continue to add hotspots throughout the entire tour. To delete a hotspot, hold down your finger on a hotspot and tap delete hotspot. Tap anywhere else to cancel. To add a text overlay, point the crosshair where the text will show. Tap text in the toolbar. Write a short text. And below you can customize how the text looks. I like to add an outline and shadow so the text stands out from the photo. Tap save, and the text will show in the 360 photo. To add longer text in the tour, you can add an InfoSpot instead. To do this, point the crosshair where the InfoSpot will show, tap the InfoSpot button in the toolbar, add a headline, in this case, TV. Add some text, Sky and Netflix available. Tap add, and the InfoSpot is added to the photo. To preview the InfoSpot, go to Preview in the toolbar. Tap the InfoSpot, and this is what it looks like. Tap Edit to close preview mode. When you tap a photo, it might face the wrong direction. You can correct this by changing the center point. To do this, point the crosshair at the correct center point and tap the center button in the toolbar. Now when you switch back to the photo, it will point at the new center point instead. If you want to reset a photo without any hotspots, tap Reset in the toolbar. Tap Reset to confirm or cancel. To color grade a photo, tap Color in the toolbar. Here there are many adjustment options. Since it's a dull day, increasing the exposure will brighten the photo. Let's make sure the sky is not blown out. It's a little too bright, so let's tone it down a little. Have a play with the adjustments to make your virtual tour photos pop. If your photos are looking a little blurry, then you can increase the sharpness. Tap Apply to confirm the color grade on the current photo, or tap Apply All to confirm the color grade on all photos at once. To update the thumbnail, point the crosshair where the thumbnail should be taken from and choose how the thumbnail will look. Tap the thumbnail button in the toolbar, and a 16:9 aspect ratio screen grab from the view is the new thumbnail. To remove the tripod legs from the bottom of the 360 photo, look down at the tripod legs. Tap Remove. Drag your finger over the tripod legs to select it, and the tripod legs will be removed. Then you can tap on the next photo and repeat the process for all photos. When you're finished, tap back. To add information about the tour, tap the tour title. Here you can add the property address, property type, and choose a thumbnail for the tour. To add your company logo to the tour, tap Create Brand. Upload your brand logo. Write the company name, write the company description, fill out all the company details, and tap Save. Now your brand is saved and can be reused in other tours. You will just need to select it here. Tap Save. Because you have added a brand, there is a new button in the toolbar called Nadir. Look down at the bottom of the 360 photo. Turn on the Nadir logo. Drag the slider to change the size, and now the logo appears at the bottom of the tour. Tap the tick to confirm. When you turn the photo, the logo turns with it. Right now, the tour is stored locally on your phone. To store the tour on the cloud and to publish the tour online, the tour must be synced to the cloud. To do this, tap the sync button. When the tour is synced, then you no longer need to store the photos on your phone. If you switch to a new device, then the tours from the cloud will download automatically to your phone. Let's add a floor plan to each floor. To do this, go to the ground floor, scroll to the end of the photos, tap Add, tap Floor Plan, browse Photos, and tap the ground floor plan. Adding hotspots to the floor plan is very similar to 360 photos. Point the crosshair where the photo was taken. Hold down your finger on the screen and tap the photo to create a hotspot. Repeat this process for all the photos. Now do the same for the first floor. Tap the first floor, add a floor plan, browse photos, select the first floor plan, and add the hotspots. Now the virtual tour is complete. It is time to publish the tour. First, make sure all the changes are synced to the cloud. Press the sync button. Once the sync is complete, tap Publish. The field of view slider is basically how zoomed in or out you want the photos to be. So a high number is more zoomed out and a lower number is more zoomed in. There are 3 ways to publish a tour: public, unlisted, and password protected. A public tour is available to anyone and appears in Google searches. An unlisted tour is only available to people who have a link to the tour. A password protected tour requires a password to see the tour set by you. In this case, let's use public tour and tap Publish Tour to put it online. And that's it. Your tour is now available for the world to see. This is your tour link. Copy the link, open a web browser, and paste the link to see the tour. Now you can look around the tour and tap the hotspots to navigate. So let's take a look inside. Let's go to the lounge, tap the InfoSpot, close it, go to the dining area, go to the kitchen, go to the garden, back to the kitchen. Let's go upstairs, into the bedroom, and into the bathroom. Tap the collapsible icon to show the photos and quickly switch between them. And tap the other collapsible icon to bring up the tour information. Tap again to close it. At the bottom you can see the brand logo. Now if you want to embed the tour on your website, go back to Clear Pano. Tap the Embed on Website button, copy the embed code, and send it to your developer to add on your website. If you want to make more tours with Clear Pano, then tap the Upgrade button on the homepage. Here you can choose which plan suits your needs. And that's it. You now know how to make a virtual tour from start to finish. If you've bought a Best 360 monopod in the past, or you're about to buy one now, then you're entitled to a special promo offer. You can get 3 months of Clear Pano completely free. All you need to do is email Best 360 with your monopod invoice and ask for the 3 months free Clear Pano. I'll leave the details in the description below. If you have any questions, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. Or if you want to connect with other virtual tour creators, come join the Clear Pano community over on Telegram. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.